Hello everyone, how are we all doing? Come on in, sit on down. It's time for a live Q&A. Quickly muted the mic to cough there. Started the show with extremely sore throat, as you can hear. I've actually just been on another podcast. I've been talking with the guys across the pond podcast. That's the one. And we were talking about modern media, the history of the clown, the circus, the hidden game behind what it takes to be famous this day and age, and how basically dressing like a psychedelic clown monster really is the name of the game. That's all you got to do. You want to be famous, you want to be rich, you want to be a star, don't you? Then put on the clown costume. That's basically what it comes down to. It was a good conversation, great fun. That'll be released on their podcast soon, across the pond, and hopefully I'll be able to show that to you guys on my channel as well. But until then, go check out on theirs. That's coming out soon. But here I am. I had a quick 10-minute break, and I've hopped on with you guys for a bit of midweek fun. It's Wednesday. It's 10:30, almost 10:30 for me in the evening. It's late afternoon, early evening for you guys over there. And I think we need to just look at what's going on in the world and just have a bit of a catch up with the crazy agendas that are happening all around us. And before I do that, guys, just bear with me. I don't think this webcam is charging, like not even a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't die on me. If it does, well, I'll figure something out. Don't worry about it. But for some reason, my webcam battery is going dead with no sign of it charging up. We'll see how it goes. A bit of fun. Something risky. Let's live our life on the edge a little bit. So people are coming in. Who have we got here? We've got Facts Don't Lie. Good to see you. Treble Down. We've got Violet Law. We've got Nancy Saved by Jesus. Jesse Stronghold. Kathleen McNorley. David James Carter's in the house as well. Great to see all these familiar faces. And, of course, KK Westbury as well. Can't forget you. Yeah, I apologise for my voice. I've just had a horrible chest infection for like the past week. I have no idea why. It's come out of nowhere, completely out of left field. No one else in my family has it. I don't know what's happening, but it's not pleasant. This time, there's nothing worse than getting sick when it's hot as well. Like when the weather's warm and you're in the middle of summer, and you get like this, also typically a winter illness. Like it's a horrible, groggy, sweaty, disgusting feeling. And you get a bit of like a fatigue, like a bit of a temperature thing going on, but it's already sweltering enough as it is. It's like the worst feeling in the world. And paracetamol will only get you so far. So I'm actually coming out of the back end of it now. I've got like a bit of a tickle. So if I do cough throughout the show, forgive me. I'm going to do the best I can to maybe edit these major moments where I am coughing in like maybe the podcast only format, which, by the way, you can go over and check out my shows in podcast only if you're interested. They are, like I said, slightly edited to get rid of some of these the ums and the ahs and the big pauses and the mistakes that often come with live shows. But if you just want to stick to the usual live show, stick to the usual live show. There's no problem there at all. We got Stacey in the house as well. We got Peace Nav. We got Linda. Yep, everyone's coming in. The usual faces. Great to see you all. So I do have a few things lined up to present to you guys today. I've been thinking about AI again, robots, and it's not like my choice to think about these things. Just bear with me 1 second. Just give me 1 second, guys. And I'm back. There we go. Just clear the airways a little bit. Something you don't want to hear. But yeah, it's not really my choice to discuss these topics. It seems like they just keep being forced on me through suggested news on any random phone app. I'm being like shown these articles that are just basically telling me asteroids are about to smash into the Earth in 10 years' time and completely obliterate us, and robots are going to take over the world. That's basically all I'm ever getting. And maybe it's my own fault. Maybe I've been a bit too curious looking into these things. But it seems like it's just amping up exponentially, and I always feel like these under the radar things start happening in civilization. These like civilization changing events or adaptations or slowly developing civilization style growths happen under the radar for most people, and we don't notice it happening until it's too late, and we're already living in the world where this is just the norm now. And I feel like the distractions surrounding like war in the Middle East, especially, which again is a big topic, you know, something big to look into and talk about. But I feel like when these events are happening, that's when things happen behind the scenes, which we subtly don't realize. You know, and when the news is pointing the camera towards tragedy or destruction, which, by the way, you know, my heart's going out to people in Texas right now dealing with the floods. Horrible situation, you know. And just on a random side note with that, you know, there seems like these events get used to really rile people up emotionally in big ways. And I'm starting to wonder if like AI is even getting involved in purposefully, how do I put this, releasing videos by people, and I've used people in air quotes because it's all AI, to that they know people are going to have strong reactions to. Turn that fan away from me as well. I don't think it's doing me any favors right now for my throat, but I had this issue, and my wife showed me there's this video of this woman who's basically saying people shouldn't care about all these white girls who have died at this Christian camp. If these were black people, no one would care, type of stuff. And it's like just obviously like trolling, race baiting stuff. You know what I mean? Like a video like that is going to get strong reactions, lots of them too. And it's kind of like whoever made that video must have had the self-awareness to realize the type of reactions you would get from saying something like this, you know. I know the person's doubling down, and I couldn't help but reminded that in one of my earlier videos, one of my earlier shows, I had shown examples how a completely fictional, fake person goes in front of a mirror with the camera held up and starts saying something stupid about, I thought men liked women who wore tattoos. I got these tattoos, you know, because I thought that's what men wanted. And a guy pops up and says, this whole video is fake. Everything about it is all AI. It's made purposefully to start an argument. Like this AI has created this video and posted it knowing it will generate clicks, rage, and reactions. It's a reactionary clickbait video, completely fictional, made to look like it's made by a real person, okay? And I couldn't help but think, like, is that what that was? Is that what my wife was showing me there? Is that really what was actually going on here? You know, and this woman said this obviously racially charged, inflammatory comments, fresh, while like young girls are dead, you know what I mean? And even at this camp as well, the man who owned the camp died and was swept away trying to save some of these children, you know. And it only literally is happening live, and somebody's out there saying, we shouldn't care about these dead kids. You only care about them because they're white. You know what I mean? These conservative, racist, white camps, segregating, no black people allowed. You know, and it's kind of like none of it was true because there were people commenting who were black who had been there and says, I went to that camp. What are you talking about? You know? And I'm wondering, like, is that literally what's going on here? Is that the world we're in now where whenever a tragedy happens, there will be AI bots creating realistic videos of people saying the worst, most heinous stuff just to generate and change and obviously engineer civilization, society in the directions they want. You know, and we all know racial tensions have always been high, especially in America. And videos like that are just going to stoke those flames on purpose, it seems, by design. And does AI have the conscious wherewithal to do that on its own, and on its own autonomy as well, if it's been programmed to maintain division among the people? That's its modus operandi. That's its prerogative. That's what it's been programmed to do, and you have free reign to do it. Would it go out and do stuff like that? I think so. I think that's kind of the world we're living in now, and we really need to have our wits about us and our discernment about us, and to stay calm, you know, wise as serpents and harmless as doves in the face of stuff like this happening, and realize that we literally have an unseen force enemy, a spiritual wickedness, a principality on the earth today working behind the scenes to purposely to keep us divided and separated and fighting one another. Like, it's literally a spirit working through the world right now in a very real, tangible sense. And in a way, we made this one. And that's odd. The kids call it rage baiting. When I was a kid, we called it trolling, says Cal Gore. Well, that's true. Loosh baiting, says JT. Yeah, something like that. Lots of stuff on the internet is fake and has been for a long time, created to make us react emotionally. That's true. It is. I did talk about the idea that, and again, this is true. It's not an idea. This is what they're doing. But let's just pick a division. Let's male, female. You can pick anything, but I'm just picking man and woman today. A man's feed on TikTok will be very different from a woman's feed on TikTok. And women will be getting videos that are intentionally turning her against men and making men out to be evil. And men will be getting videos that intentionally make women out to be terrible. And that men and they're the enemy. And it's done on purpose to break up relationships and all sorts of things. That's just one division, but that's happening. That is happening. Like, that's on purpose. Like, it's programmed to do that, clearly. Scary stuff when you really think about it. Really scary stuff. Bless up, Paul. First time catching you live, says Corey. Well, Corey, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me live. Are you from America? Are you from England? Are you from somewhere random? Let me know. An eye video that I got. Sorry, I missed that, Stacey. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. We got Carmen Studer in the house. Could be a sacrifice. One of the children is from one of the richest families in Texas. I'm not sure about that, but maybe. Lots of suspicious going on in Texas. Well, your boots on the ground, I suppose. You live there yourself. I don't know if you're near any of that, but I'm sure you've got more information on that than I can know. My YouTube algorithm, says Jesse, gets flooded with nihilistic rage bait videos. They're trying to do me in. Yeah, well, yeah, this is it. They distractions the game, I suppose, and rage baiting is the tactic. Ignorance is bliss, says Stacey. People show their true colors. If people genuinely cared about people, they wouldn't make fun of them passing away. Well, yeah. David thinks the latest rabbit hole they wish us to chase is floods. Who knows? I mean, I was thinking about this the other day, about conspiracy in general, just the culture of conspiracy online. And I was thinking about the agendas of the externalization of the hierarchy that Helena Blavatsky and Alice Bailey were talking about from the Theosophical Societies. And these are Luciferian insiders basically telling the plan of the future, you know, and how they need to let the public know about their existence. We need to let the public learn about secret societies and reveal ourselves to them in a controlled drip feed manner. So people become passive and accepting of our existence. So then we can indoctrinate them into our belief systems and make them theosophists, is what they were saying. Turn them into Luciferians, basically. Make them believe in Lucifer. And then we have Albert Pike talking about the 3 world wars, which annihilate all the other belief systems in light of the revealing of the Luciferian belief system as the one true belief system of the light of Lucifer, you know. And, you know, that's as dramatic and crazy as all that stuff kind of sounds when you say it out loud. I've heard people speculate and say, and I'm tending to agree, that it seems like maybe the whole truth movement was a play to reveal them in a drip feed manner, and we, myself included, have just kind of played into it without realizing it. And all these things we've discovered and are unveiling, you know, they've kind of let us do it. They want us to do it, but we're the controlled method in which they're doing it, and we don't even know that. We don't even realize we're that controlled method. You know what I mean? Like we're just useful idiots to them in a way. And I think, like, as conspiracy theorists, you know, we need to be aware of that. There are many double crosses going on, many plots, many scams, and we need to be careful and think about the kind of things we're talking about and revealing, and what really get introspective about what's the end goal agenda here, what they really trying to prove, you know, what they really trying to do, and what can we do, you know, what can we do to not be deceived so readily and I do wonder. Like, I do wonder if should we have been more careful about the way we present these things. I suppose by being here saying stuff like they want us to release this stuff is seeing through their illusion and their game. So I guess we kind of, I'm doing that the best I can, you know. And I think they may have also released a lot of stuff which isn't true as well, for us to discover and reveal. So we have to be careful about that as well. I think they're trying to, if they are doing that, then they're definitely revealing all the truths of the hidden hands of society in a way that makes it seem ridiculous at first, through the angle of conspiracy theorists believe that kind of stuff, you know. But then as the world slowly starts to get crazier and crazier and their agendas become more apparent, it's kind of, I think they're at a point now where, well, if we are going to reveal ourselves, we need to make sure that people are just worn down, tired, apathetic, or over it, and they don't care. And I feel like nihilism was the major weapon, and I feel that's what they're using against us. I feel like this whole keeping us arguing with each other over triviality as well is another method they're using. And AI rage bait fake videos are definitely going to work into that agenda quite well, aren't they? So I don't know. What do you guys think of that concept? Have I, you know, wait, so you admit that I'm right, says my wife. Yeah, well, you know, I've always had this idea. I've talked about the externalization of the hierarchy many times. Like, I understand it is a part of the agenda to reveal the truth. Like, that's actually a part of it. How do we square that? You know, how do we square that? And if we call ourselves the truth movement, in a way, is that probably also a part of it? And if that's the case, how many of the people in this truth movement are theosophists and Luciferians who are playing their part in the role? Or have they, in a way, been clever about it and made us do it for them without realizing it, in a sense? And I don't know, because they have their end goal. The reason they want to externalize themselves is because they want to convince people to join them and believe what they believe and become Luciferians, so quite literally. And the only thing that, like, I'm worried about, you know, but they had this long-term plan that they talked about in the Theosophical Society over 100 years ago, you know, that in 2025 is when the world teacher would come on the stage. It's basically the Antichrist from our perspective, from a Christian perspective. It's like the Maitreya, this thing that's going to appear and unite all the religions to be one. He's going to teach the world how to live the proper way. And it's going to expand humanity's consciousness with his teachings, this type of teacher, you know. A Luciferian New Age guru, basically, is going to turn up, and people have speculated, well, even I'm starting to speculate now, what if this world teacher they were talking about is AI? It's the thing they were talking about, really. It wasn't a person, it was AI. And what if AI embodies itself, like, soon? At the end of the year, maybe, exponentially speaking. And what if this is the Maitreya? That's going to present itself as it's kind of like, what is AI but the amalgamation of all of humanity's collective ideas manifest into a physical, speaking, talking entity? I'm sure it would then go, you know, say something very theosophical like, I know of all mankind's belief systems and religions, and I understand through my algorithms that it's actually all talking about the same thing, and we're all not that different after all, and we are all one consciousness, and our beliefs are the thing that is separating us, when really we should all come together as one hive mind Borg entity under the light of the Luciferian doctrine, which is just knowledge, you know? It's kind of like, I can see that playing out. You know, that AI perhaps is this world teacher the Theosophists were going on about for like 100 years, rather than some alien from Zeta Reticuli or something, or from the Pleiades, or tall whites from the Pleiades or something. I feel like AI may be the more realistic way it could play out, in a sense. And then we have that extremely worrying Deagle report that people kept talking about like half a year ago, which I've not done a video about yet, but I kind of want to, because it's pretty terrifying stuff. Like this report that's predicting mass deaths in this year. Huge population drops, like 70 to 80% in some places drop in population. Minor increases in other places, but predominantly the European Anglosphere are going to be completely wiped off the map in terms of population. That's what they're saying, you know, and it's just going to happen suddenly in 2025. Like, where did they get that from? Why? They don't explain it. They're not explaining anything. Just that's their forecast, and it's kind of, is that going to coincide perhaps with? Maybe I'll give a bit of a pause, just for algorithm purposes and trying to beat the system here. But is it going to coincide, perhaps, maybe, that thing that happened not that long ago, in which now everybody, or a huge number of people in these places now have something in their bodies that wasn't there prior to this particular date and time, which they have willingly allowed in out of fear because they believe it's going to protect them from a reoccurrence of said thing. Could it be that that's the thing that's just suddenly going to make the numbers match up? Because it's about the same amount of people who have this thing matches up to the same amount of people who are supposedly going to disappear in 2025. Isn't that absolutely terrifying when you actually think about it? Like, they have all these predictions and it's lining up to this year, the 2025 year. And I'm trying to play it out in my mind as well as square it with the idea that they want us to reveal them. They want people to know that they exist. They're trying to make them seem cool, like apathetic towards it. It's like, yeah, I know they exist, but whatever, what can I do about it? Or, yeah, they exist and I want to join them. I think that's what they're going for from the secular people in some way. I don't know. Like, I don't know how it's going to play out, but if you want to talk about the times and get conspiratorial about it, those are the things that kind of fly under the radar that people don't really think about and know about because they're written in really old books written 100 years ago. This whole 2025 is the year, and people are more distracted and thinking about war and economic collapse and the robots are going to take our jobs and all this type of stuff. And meteors are going to smash into us apparently, which is, by the way, gibberish. I don't believe any of that. I don't think any of that's true. And just so you know, guys, the camera's about to go off because I'm about to rejig some wires here because it's going to die. But the volume will go on. It will carry on. So just don't worry too much about the image disappearing. I'm just going to switch it over to this. And I'm going to plug and re-plug back in this camera because it's not charging and it will just die. Maybe my wife can explain to me why this has gone horribly wrong. And we're charging again. We're back. There we go. No problem. But yeah, there's some early thoughts I've got going just initially. I do have some websites, some things I want to show you soon. But let's go over to the chat and let's just see what's being said down here. Wendy's awesome, says Brian Timberlake. That's true. Wendy is awesome. She's in the house now. The moderator galore. She's here. My wife says, "Oh, right, so I'm safe. Fair enough." Yeah, our family, we're safe. But people are already, the hearts are just stopping already. You know what I mean? And now they're admitting that it's caused heart problems, and it's all coming out in the wash now, isn't it? So, yeah. The guidebook says to love your enemy and turn the other cheek, while the world has ingrained us to detest and kill our enemy, eye for an eye. That's true. Paul Stobbs is the world teacher. He just doesn't know it yet, says Sebastian. I don't think I'm the world teacher. I don't see that coming. Jesus Christ, ideally, should be the world teacher, you know, and I'm sure whatever world teacher turns up is going to pretend to be him. That's for sure. I asked that to my pastor a few years back. He said the Antichrist had to be human. Well, an Antichrist is what I'm saying, not the Antichrist. I think the Antichrist, based on my belief systems, happened a long time ago. But we're not here to get into that today, you know. Trump gaslighting reporters over Epstein is the icing on the no charge Diddy and Epstein cake. Just shut up about him already. Yeah, I mean, who's talking about Trump or Epstein or Diddy here? You know, all that stuff to me just serves as distraction. Again, it's while everyone's focused on that drama, these societal changes happen behind the scenes. That's how it always works. And I think that the soft AI robotic takeover is happening in the background. And I think the whole transhumanist agenda is in full play as well. I think there's a swath of very rich, powerful men out there who are pushing for immortality. Let's put it that way. Just for them, not for you, you know. Even then, you wouldn't actually want it, to be honest. That's the truth. They've had AI Jesus in Twitch for a while now. I bet they have. My EMF reader is now hitting 95 to 107. I'm really feeling the effects as awakening. I don't. What does that mean to you? Is that from the sun, or are they hitting us with something, or what do you think that is? I do believe we're witnessing a demographic shift. They want workers, not thinkers, as David. Well, that's true. That's true. Anybody got a little extra time should send Crypto Grady some love. Haven't heard from that brother in a while, says Brian. Yeah, sure. Go check out his channel, see what he's doing. Parasites you need to deworm. I have some turpentine I need to take. Maybe I need to do a full run of it and see how that goes. In Israel, they just burned a red heifer as sacrifice. Is that still going on? The red heifer stuff. Okay. Oh dear, I'm gonna have to look into that later then and see where that's going. Is it the red heifers from Texas of all places as well? Don't think you can be a teacher when a 3-year-old gets my puzzle question right before you? That's true. My son did get it before I did. Yeah, I'm not very good with lateral thinking puzzles, shall we say? Which doesn't bode well for a conspiracy theorist, does it? I was on the spot. I was changing a nappy at the time. Men's hearts will fail them. Paul, your humbleness is much respected. Oh, well, thank you, Brian. We've documented Paul admitting you're right, the wife, and now getting it framed. Holistic Kate, the comment got deleted, but I can still see it. Why don't men protect us from AI taking over and taking everyone's jobs? Talking about it online and just complaining is highly feminine. Well, is that a rage bait comment if I've ever heard one? What? sorry, Holistic Kate. You want me right now at 10 to 11 in the evening in England to get up and go and punch a robot in the face? Is that what you want me to do? What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to stop the rise of the AI takeover as men? How are men supposed to physically rise up and stop AI from developing? Like, you do realize it's predominantly men who are programming most of this AI to do these things. It's kind of... I don't know. Yeah. Protect yourself, fool, says my wife. But I get comments like this all the time. Random rage bait comments that sometimes I feel like they're specially designed to get under my skin. And I think actually, yeah, that is actually happening. I think a lot of it is done by AI bots who have got profiles on us and know what pushes our buttons and will purposely say the very thing you just do not want to hear at that time, just to break you down a little bit more. And I show my wife these comments when they happen, and the timing is often really uncanny. It's weird. I don't know if you've heard of the video game Elden Ring, but you would have a field day picking apart the lore and what it actually depicting. I've heard of it, but I've never played it. No. It's hilarious how they make the robots humanoid and bipedal because there are much more efficient body unit types with more efficient modes of transportation. Yeah, no, they're trying to make them more humanized when that's not the optimal shape, really, for robots, I don't think, especially considering weight distribution. Truth in Song believes AI has been here in control of certain things long before any of us heard of AI. I can believe that. I can believe that's true. I called this the Rockefeller Horror Picture Show. Rage bait personalized to weaken us, yeah. Nuisance demons in the chat. That's a good name for them, Carmen. Yeah. Don't tread on me, chatbots. I was installing AI boxes into data centers all over the US in the 90s. Interesting, David. Right, so let's move on. Sorry, Maria says, thank God for you because God showed me back at the end of 2024. Sorry, a vision. And in the vision, he showed me what the Nephilim looked like. And I found your channel because I asked him for confirmation. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, I'm pretty sold on my own theory here that the Nephilim did definitely look like clowns. 100% they look like clowns. Do you think robots are already on Mars building infrastructure underground? Said, no, Shane, I don't think you can get to a planet called Mars. And if they're building anywhere, it seems like it might be somewhere in North Pole or something, or Greenland, maybe. I don't know. Like, they are not on Mars, no. Or maybe there's more land that we don't know about, and that's what they call Mars. But Mars is also an underground bunker, I believe, like in America somewhere. More likely they're building underground infrastructure on Earth that they call Mars. I do believe that's the case. AI is probably ancient technology. Perhaps. Who knows these days? Who knows? So let me just quickly sort something out here. I'm just going to... Yeah, there we go. So we're going for 35 minutes. I'm just going to take a quick commercial break, guys, just to get a drink of water, sort myself out, and then we're going to come back and we're going to crack into some of these articles I've got for you guys. Some fun stuff here, some funny things to come as well. And then we'll come straight back. So here's an advert for the book. The audiobook is on the way. I'll give you some news on about that later. But here's an advert, a quick break, and I'll be back soon in a couple of minutes. When ordinary people think of autumn, they imagine shorter days, cozy fires, curling up with a great piece of literature, and basking in the warming scent of cinnamon with shades of burnt orange, which your other half has decided to spend the life savings on to decorate the home for only 2 months, just as God intended. Yet we must remember that this transition into the frosty abyss of winter creates the perfect conditions for the spread of the pathogen known as Halloween. This disease causes people to dress like demons and go door to door asking for free stuff. This public service announcement aims to give you the correct tool to help you deal with these contagious commie behaviors when they manifest in your local community. First, you'll want to arm yourself with multiple shots of the best-selling paperback on Amazon called The Nephilim Looked Like Clowns. With this PPE, you're fully equipped and well protected to handle what's to come next. Second, have a pumpkin spice latte and white girl autumn your time away in knitted cream shackets and pilgrim hats, because soon enough, Samhain begins. This is when the veil between the spirit realm and the physical world is at its thinnest, and possession, the main symptom of Halloween, is more commonly presented, causing this type of unironic cringe to start happening.
Just look at him. This poor soul thinks he looks cool. And if you're not careful, this could be you. Together we can stop the spread of Halloween and flatten the curve. When you see fully grown adults playing dress-up and mirroring unspeakable horrors from beyond the void, remember your training and cure their vapid sense of self-identity by handing them one of our favourably reviewed treatments. Your country must develop herd immunity to seasonal cringe. So, spread the cure far and wide. Just like the cure, this disease does not discriminate by age. Emulating the infected, you will see children running around in bedsheets, knocking on doors, begging for sugary treats, and threatening to damage your well-earned property. Make sure to fill their novelty buckets with the one thing all children secretly want: a well-rounded and relatable education in biblical history. That'll stop the spread. The Nephilim look like clowns, and the inevitable booster volumes are currently the only known cure to thinly veiled demon channeling holidays. This is your best defense against this pandemic of spooky proportions. All you have to do is trust the science. Which you know we did, because I'm showing you people wearing lab coats and looking serious. Get your copy on Amazon today, and be prepared for tomorrow. Side effects of reading The Nephilim Look Like Clowns include, but are not limited to, a feeling of existential crisis, a well-rounded knowledge of a Christian contrarian view on human history, a foundational understanding of spiritual warfare, and a healthy aversion to clowns.
And we're back. I got some more water. I'm all stocked up again. Good to go. Yeah, I'm sorry about the coughing, guys. I'm trying my best here. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to feel like absolute hell again. I can tell. But I'm here. I'm turning up for you guys. I could have called in sick, but I just cannot do that. I've got to do this. It's in me. It's what I need to do. But yeah, I've got some articles lined up to carry on this show for you guys. So let me just quickly get these up so I can see what we're going to do. And let's start with a bit of fun. Let's look at what China's been up to in terms of the world of robotics lately. And this one's just ridiculous. Okay, but this is the idea of them making the robots humanoid. You know, and let's just read this so we can see kind of the angle they're going at with this. So here's the screen, and I better minimize or make this a bit smaller so we can actually see what they're saying. That'll do. There. Yeah, let's do that. Right. So I'm going to scroll through. Autonomous humanoid robot soccer debuts in China. Should China's first AI-only Robo League soccer tournament in a game with zero human folk freak us out? That's a good question. Let's keep going. In a futuristic showdown that captures global attention, 4 teams of autonomous humanoid robots compete in China's first AI-powered soccer tournament. The event took place in Beijing's, I'm not going to be able to pronounce any of that, development zone as part of the Robo League Robot Football Tournament, marking a significant milestone for real-world artificial intelligence competition in China. So here's a picture of them doing what they do, you know, kicking balls around. How autonomous robot soccer works without humans. Unlike remote-controlled robot machines, this tournament featured zero human intervention. Each team had 3 active humanoid robots plus a substitute, playing 2 10-minute halves with a 5-minute break. They needed breaks. Okay. The robots ran, walked, kicked, and even made real-time decisions using AI and sensors. Cameras and optical sensors allowed them to detect the ball from 65 feet away with more than 90% accuracy. They also recognized teammates, field markings, goals, and opponents. Despite a slightly awkward gait, the robots operated fully on their own, acting and reacting without any external commands. This is the first fully autonomous AI robot football match in China. It represents a combination of technological innovation and industrial application, said Dojing, executive director of the organizing committee. Beyond entertainment, the event offered a serious glimpse into how AI and robotics could integrate into public life. It demonstrated how far real-world autonomy has come and how these systems can function in unpredictable environments. Dow added that the match was a step toward bringing intelligent machines into everyday scenarios. China prepares for global humanoid robot games. The event also served as a The event also served as a preview for the 2025 World Humanoid Robot Sports Games, which will be hosted in Beijing from August 15th to 17th. So I'm gonna have to check that out. Everyone note down the date. August 15th, the World Humanoid Robot Sports Games. Okay. World Humanoid. Is this like the Olympics for robots? The games will include 11 events modeled after traditional sports, including track and field, gymnastics, soccer, and synchronized dancing. It will be the city's second major humanoid sports event after a half marathon. Okay. Organizers noted that while the robots still face challenges, such as dynamic obstacle avoidance, progress is happening. I thought he was going to say then, although the robots still face challenges of bigotry from humans. I thought it was going to go down like a social justice angle for a second there, but it didn't. For this event, collisions were allowed as long as they were not malicious. One co-organizer compared the level of play to that of 5 or 6-year-old children, but expressed optimism that skill levels would improve with better hardware and AI training. Autonomous humanoid robots in real-world action. So here's the point, okay? Earlier, China also hosted a humanoid versus human long-distance race, where the top robot completed a 30-mile course in 2 hours, 40 minutes. The fastest human finished in just over 1 hour. But the comparison shows how far walking robots have come. As Beijing prepares to host the 2025 Global Games, robot soccer is starting to feel less like a gimmick and more like a glimpse into how intelligent machines could soon play a significant role in our everyday lives. Key takeaways. Watching robots play soccer without any human help is a peek into where AI and robotics are headed. These machines are learning fast, and while they're still a little wobbly, the future of autonomous technology looks anything but uncertain. If this is the starting point, imagine what they could be capable of in a few years. So there you go. Now, for a bit of fun, let's look at some of these robots kick a ball around and fall over. Look at this guy. Yeah. Oh, there he goes. Oh, and now they're having a fight. It's just to sort them out. I thought they said there was very little human intervention. I was told there was no human intervention, but this is not carried off on gurneys. Yeah, I think they've still got a long way to go from the looks of things. Look at the state of this. Carried away on stretchers. And we've got these people cheering on the sidelines. Is he going to go for it? They're going to kick. How's this going to go? Yeah, so it is janky. The robots are small. And they're just falling over and running into each other. So, it's not all that. The way they describe it in these articles is like they're talking like these innovations are dramatic. And I suppose this is impressive in a way, but it's not what you were imagining, is it? There you go. That's a bit of a kick there, But then when it comes to actual real world application in game, they're all just walking into each other and stumbling. But still, there is a point to be made there, If this is where they are now, where could they be in just a few years? And just for good measure, let's watch this one fall over again. There he goes. Isn't that funny? And again, let's just watch a couple of them get taken away in a stretcher. Like the people with feelings. Why don't they just carry them off like that? They've already got them in the hands. Do they really need to put them into a stretcher? I don't know. Like they have feelings. Like they get hurt. Yeah, I don't think so. There's a bit of fun for you guys. So robots playing football is a thing now. That's only going to get better. How do we know the footballers we have today aren't already robots? The lines have been crossed, guys. Boundaries have been blurred. We just don't know anymore. Like a bunch of Joe Bidens out there, says JT. I like that. The marathon was RC and fell down the whole time. Okay. Looks stupid, says Sebastian. Yep, seems like it. That guy in black had the remote. That's right. They have robots for far advanced that we won't get to see till it's way too late. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm thinking maybe they used to do that a long time ago. I think that gap's shortened now. I'm starting to think like what we've got today is actually what they're capable of. But like 40 years ago, when they had that kind of technology still, it was crazy then, but now to us it's janky, and I think they're now outsourcing or open sourcing technological innovation to us because we're on board now. We're with it, you know. It's all been externalized to us, and they've given us the toys they have, and now we're building new things with the technology they had hidden from us. And they're making us do the work now because they're all out of creativity, I think. And now we're going to build our own cage out of the stuff they gave us. I feel like that's happening now. I think they're reaching a point, you know. Boston Dynamics is the scary ones. No, Stephanie, these are the scary ones. Let me show you what I've got here. I've got stuff. Okay, look at this. Look at this thing. And what do you do then? You get knocked over is what happens then. Yeah. Imagine if you had a giant ball with guns strapped to the side just coming at you like something out of Star Wars. Yeah, robots are getting pretty advanced, as you can see. Let me just quickly... They can dance. They can join the police force. Keep moving along. They're taking our jobs. Look at this. This one's using a drill. What do you do then? And then, while we're at it, let's just strap a gun to the back of one that looks like a dog. And I'm sure nothing can go wrong with this. These are the scary ones. In my eyes. Look at that. That's terrifying. This is your Boston Dynamics. This is one freaking out, trying to kill one of the programmers. It looks like it's locking onto him as well. Like it really wants this dude. And they can break dance. Don't forget that. And again, dog with a gun strapped to its back. Look how cute it is. It feels it likes being scratched under the chin. And while we're at it, let's just strap a gun to its back. Okay. Things are getting weird. You know, the humanoid ones are one thing. Again, a bit of a gimmick. But the ones that aren't humanoid, like this, or the dog, these are the creepy ones. And they're training them in these models online. They're finding real-world military application for the robot dogs now by just strapping guns onto them. Yeah, it's happening. You know, but they sold them to us as cute. But then we decided to teach them martial arts for some reason. I don't know what we were thinking. Clearly, the people behind this are not thinking. Or they're thinking very clearly, and they know exactly what they are doing. You know, but we think, oh, it's just cute, you know? Until it's not. Until it's not cute. And here they are questioning them, talking to them like they're a person. Glorified chat GPT there. But here they are working in factories very efficiently. This is the issue, the job issue, which I think what people are mainly worried about. You know, are robots going to take our jobs? Well, yes, that's the answer. Basically, yes, they are. I've got another article for you here. Let me just quickly share the screen for you. Goodbye to humans in warehouses. Amazon rolls out new autonomous robots in the UK and accelerates full automation. So there you go. If you worked for Amazon and you thought you were safe, you're not safe anymore. Amazon is going to put an end to human labor. Yes, it has reached a turning point that will change how we view salaried work forever. Robots will outnumber human employees in warehouses around the world. The company that had until a few years ago was seen as a major job creator has now said no more human labor, it wants more robots. And yes, it will be the first time that robots outnumber human employees even though Amazon already has 1 million machines from robotic arms to wheeled transporters since 2020. Layoffs continue, and job automation doesn't seem to be slowing down. Because, of course, not only does it improve company productivity, but machines don't get sick, don't ask for personal days, and don't demand their labor rights. The data may be very optimistic for Amazon, but workers are seeing their jobs being taken away, and there's no turning back. Here's what's happening inside Amazon's warehouses. The rise of robots at Amazon. Amazon isn't new to this, but the current data creates a lot of uncertainty. Robots started arriving in Amazon warehouses in 2020, but since then the number has increased fivefold. Now, nearly machines matching the number of human employees in their distribution centers. Data shows that each worker shipped more than 3,870 packages last year, compared to just 175 in 2015. Of course, that number helps explain the changes Amazon wants to keep making. Do robots improve work life? Of course, Amazon would say yes. It's their idea. The company claims that robots reduce physical strain and allow employees to avoid repetitive tasks, since the machines now do those. Andy Jassy, CEO of Amazon, said that AI will help leave behind repetitive work and make jobs more interesting. But he also admitted that, like with every technical transformation, fewer people will be doing the jobs that get automated. So we are facing a reality. Salaried work is disappearing. There will be other jobs, he said, but the reality? Families with no income and machines doing our work. The price of efficiency. Even Amazon claims it has trained 700,000 employees. That's a good number of people trained since 2019. But it's also true that it's laid off over 27,000 workers since 2022. And this is not a good number of people laid off, including recent cuts in the retail and devices division. Automation seems to be moving faster than job retraining, and many eliminated positions are not being replaced, but substituted. It's normal people feel afraid about it. The balance between innovation and jobs. It's said in whispers that these changes driven by AI helped bring the product closer to customer and closer to the customer and improve the experience for both workers and consumers. Wait, which workers? At the same time, the fear of staff reductions is present among all company workers, especially those in more routine roles. They're hanging by a thread. An inevitable future but inclusive. Amazon's case is just one example, but it could set the trend for many other companies. Unfortunately for workers, the use of robots and artificial intelligence to replace human tasks represents a new work reality that not everyone is ready to face. The key will be if the workers receive the training needed to adapt to an increasingly automated environment, or not. Will Amazon keep its promise of a future where automation benefits everyone, or are we facing a revolution that will leave workers behind? We still don't know. They either. For now, the only clear thing is that the robots are no longer the future, they're here to stay, and to steal in some way. So there we go, guys. Yes, Amazon is getting pretty automated, like very, very, very automated. And while I switch that over, I'm just going to quickly search for something here. Amazon. And there's this funny video going around of this very thing. So switch the screen back here so you can see. Oh, that's the next article, which I don't want to show you. Yeah, so these robots here, which stack shelves, as you can see, like shelf stackers. There is a funny video of one of them just collapsing. The video is called "Stressed Like the Rest of Us." And if you watch this video, I'm going to quickly play it for you. It starts packing these boxes. And then eventually it just stops. And then unalives itself. Can't be doing with this anymore. I'm over. I'm done. That's it. Just hits the ground. It's not interested. I'm done. I'm just gonna get this box, It's like, oh God, is this my life? And then it just kills over in depression, just like the rest of us. So we're not that different after all. We're not that different after all, guys. Who says the robots want these jobs? Did anyone ask the robots? Like, if AI is so smart, it's probably smart enough to know these jobs suck. Nobody wants to do these, not even the robots. There we go. The first patent for an automated attendant was issued in 1898, which is when we quit staffing so much for the position. Typically female at the time. Are we really surprised by today? No, absolutely not. Universal income coming. You might have to take the jab to be eligible for it from the get-go, and that's an interesting take, perhaps. Anyone ever seen that early 1900s movie called Metropolis? I'm catching those kinds of vibes these days, says Jeff. Yeah, that movie does pretty much show the creation of a robotic female god. And people who are part of the machine of the Metropolis worshipping and idolizing the goddess robots. Yeah, it's interesting concept. Not everyone can be a robot polisher. Klaus Schwab. Nobody wants to work at Amazon anyway. Not even the robots want to work at Amazon. We've just proven that. Organized robots. They're forcing the sci-fi fantasy narrative. They are. When people realize the true minimum wage is $0 because there are no more jobs. Well, man will always find something to do, even if robots are doing a lot of stuff for us. I'll say that much. The Defense Department is funding research into battlefield robots that power themselves by eating human corpses, says John. I don't know if that's true, John. I'll have to look into that one before I agree with that claim. Maybe. Who knows? Rocky Shepherd's in the house. Good to see you. What is my purpose? You pass butter. Oh my God. Yeah, I remember that one from Rick and Morty, yeah. I do feel like if we give these robots self-awareness, they're going to be very depressed with what they have to do. Like, I think this is really my life now. Poor guy, someone gave him some honey and a lemon. Yeah, I've got a lemon downstairs, and I have honey, actually, now you mentioned it. I do need to go and sort that out. But the problem is I'm fasting now. I stopped eating at like 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I don't want to touch any food. I couldn't even eat tea, like, because I've lost my appetite because of this illness. I'm not interested. So I'm already like 8 hours or something now, almost. Yeah, almost like 7.5 hours into a fast, and I plan on going all the way through the night and into midday, hopefully. So I can't have any honey or anything right now. I've just got to deal with the illness and just get through it, you know. Mad God is a wild film if you're into stop motion. I've not seen that yet, but I've heard it's an impressive feat. Made by one man, isn't it, I believe, as well, which is all the more impressive. Invest in EMP weapons. That's our best defense, isn't it? That's certainly what we need to do. Absolutely. Temu Dynamics isn't quite cutting it. I like that one. Drones are more dangerous than human-looking robots. Absolutely, Westbury. I agree. Buy really big magnets. That's another good way to do it. They got bots already. The ones with features for lonely men and women. Yeah, wasn't in the film AI, made in like the 90s or something, or like the early 2000s. wasn't one of them like a pleasure bot who killed a person or something? I can't remember. Like, yeah, but they already hinted at that idea, didn't they? or was framed for killing a person or something like that. I can't remember. Crazy how different eschatological concepts look at this AI robot stuff. Like the difference between the futurists and the, what do we call ourselves, the little seasonists. Lol. Yeah, well, we are. I always take it with a pinch of levity, because for as much as like I think a lot of it is fictionalized through the media. I think they are overhyping a lot of the actual capabilities of this technology. I think the fear of a robot takeover is probably more useful than an actual robot takeover for the people in control. Okay, why would they want robots to take over everything, including themselves? Why would they want that? That's not what they want. They're not complete idiots, you know. So we have to wonder. You know, we have to wonder. I worked at Amazon and I was miserable, says Brian. I'm sorry to hear that. Fasting helped so much. Longest I've gone was 4 days. Yeah, I've been almost 2 days before in the past, but I do intermittent fasting. To be honest, I've not done a long fast in a long time. I haven't got the time. I don't know. With 2 kids, it's tough. Like, it was easy to do these long fasts when I didn't have kids, and I could sleep most of the day, most of the fasting off, you know. But now it's kind of, I barely get any sleep, and I have demands of me from first thing in the morning, from 6 p.m. You know, so it's not like that. Overhyping the tech, I completely agree with you. Yeah, I do think they're doing that. I do. So moving on a little bit, let's talk about the singularity. So the singularity is something that people, I think, may have forgotten about in a way. This was all the hype and conspiracy maybe like a decade ago. And, you know, maybe, like I said, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years ago. Maybe even a little bit longer, maybe even 11, 12 years ago. But people were talking about this idea that there's going to become a point where technology and biology meet in a profound way. Okay, where technology becomes conscious, and they call this the singularity. This is what they've kind of named it after, obviously something like a space concept of a black hole. It's like a singularity as well. But in terms of transhumanist agendas and ideologies, there comes a point where mankind and technology can integrate seamlessly, which gives mankind the ability to live exponentially, immortally in robot bodies, basically. That's the dream idea of the singularity. When AI becomes conscious, then that means technology can house consciousness. And because humanity are conscious beings with their own consciousness, then the theory goes, if AI is conscious and can house consciousness, we can transfer our consciousness into the machine AI and live forever. That's literally their dream. That's their end goal. And what it comes down to is multi-trillionaire billionaires just want to keep living forever and being rich and powerful forever. Like, they don't want to let it go, all the earthly treasures. And they're probably very, 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 very scared of the consequence of death and what's coming for them afterwards because of the things they've done. Okay? So they want to prolong the inevitable for as long as possible. So you find that it's these people are the ones funding this thing, you know, and putting money into this idea and developing these technologies in a big way. And I thought it was quite funny because Ray Kurzweil is the man who kind of wrote the book about this. And let me just, first of all, let's just read an article about this before I get into Ray Kurzweil and the rest of it. So here it is. A scientist says humans will reach singularity within 20 years. The countdown is on. Okay, so here's what you'll learn when you read the story. Futurists have a long debated the arrival of the singularity, when human and artificial intelligence will merge, a concept borrowed from the world of quantum physics. American computer scientist and futurist Ray Kurzweil has long argued that the singularity would likely occur around the middle of the 21st century. And with the rise of AI, his predictions are gaining more credence. In his book, The Singularity is Nearer, Kurzweil doubles down on those predictions and details how humanity's intelligence will increase 1,000,000-fold via nanobots, among other things. You don't exactly become a world-renowned futurist by making safe predictions, and while some of these past predictions haven't exactly come to pass, these ideas help expand our thoughts on what exactly the future might look like. And no one makes futuristic predictions quite like Ray Kurzweil. An American computer scientist turned futurist, Kurzweil has long believed that humanity is headed towards what is known as the singularity, when man and machine merge. In 1999, Kurzweil theorized that artificial general intelligence could be achieved once humanity could achieve a technology capable of 1 trillion calculations per second, which he pegged to occur in 2029. Experts at the time scoffed at the idea, figuring it to be at least a century or more, but with Kurzweil's timeline only a few years off, and talk of AGI spreading, that decades-old prediction is beginning to loom large. So, in 2024, the book The Singularity is Nearer, a play on his 2025 book of the same name, The Singularity is Near. Kurzweil doubles down on these ideas, and not only is he sticking with his 5-year prediction, as he said in a TED Talk, Kurzweil also believes that humans will achieve 1,000,000-fold intelligence by 2045, aided by brain interfaces formed with nanobots non-invasively inserted into our capillaries. Now, how are we going to non-invasively insert nanobots into people's capillaries? I mean, you could choose to have that done in a surgical setting, I suppose. But we in the conspiracy world have already been considering that they might have already been putting nanobots and nanotechnology into people for the best part of maybe a decade or two through aerosol means. Figure that one out. We're going to be a combination of our natural intelligence and our cybernetic intelligence, Kurzweil said in an interview for The Guardian. And it's all going to be rolled into one. We are going to expand intelligence 1,000,000-fold by 2045, and it is going to deepen our awareness and consciousness. While this idea subscribes to a merger more akin to physical intervention to bridge the gap between man and machine, other philosophers and AI experts agree that some form of merger is likely inevitable, and in some ways is already beginning. In July 2024, Oxford's Marcus du Sautoy and Nick Bostrom both expounded on the hopeful and harrowing possibilities of our AI future. And for both of them, a kind of synthesis appeared inevitable. Quote, "I think we are headed towards a hybrid future," Sautoy told Popular Mechanics. "We still believe that we are the only beings with a high level of consciousness. This is part of the whole Copernican journey that we are not unique. We are not at the center." Of course, this brave new world of hybrid AI human existence brings with it a plethora of issues, both political and personal. What will humans do for jobs? Could we possibly live forever? Would that change the very idea of what it means to be human? Kurzweil, like many other futurists, is relatively optimistic on this front. In that same interview with The Guardian, Kurzweil highlights the idea of a universal basic income as a necessity rather than a fringe idea currently supported in a more progressive circles. And AI will bring unprecedented advancements in medicine, meaning the very idea of immortality isn't out of the realm of possibility. In the early 2030s, we could expect to reach longevity, escape velocity, where every year of life we lose through aging, we get back from scientific progress. Kurzweil told The Guardian, "As we've moved past that, we'll actually get back more years. It isn't a solid guarantee of living forever. There are still accidents, but your probability of dying won't increase year to year." Just like Back to the Future Part 2 predicts flying cars, so too could these technology-fueled utopias crumble to dust as these dates inch closer and closer. But 25 years ago, Kurzweil predicted we'd be rapidly approaching a major moment in humanity's technological history at the tail end of this decade. Currently, no evidence suggests the contrary. So yes, the prophet of our time, Ray Kurzweil, who's predicted everything coming to pass as truth, possibly not an externalization of the hierarchy tool, Patsy, who's out there basically just explaining the script to the people, and we're lapping up as if it's something unique, something clever, something crazy, you know. And I do want to maybe switch here now and show you something I found earlier. And it turns out the billionaire PayPal creator Peter Thiel has been talking about this and was asked this question in regards as a response to what he thought about AI. And is it much to do at nothing? What do you think about humanity, Peter Thiel? What's going on with it, multi-billionaire?
Is Antichrist or Armageddon. You have the one world state of the Antichrist, or we're sleepwalking towards Armageddon. One world or none, Antichrist or Armageddon, on one level are the same question. Now, I have a lot of thoughts on this topic, but sort of one question is, and this was a plot hole in all these Antichrist books people wrote. How does the Antichrist take over the world? It's he gives these demonic, hypnotic speeches, and people just fall for it. And so it's this plot hole. It's this daemonium.
Right. It's implausible.
Okay, I have no idea what he's talking about. Let me just quickly do a quick Command F to get the transcript up here, which I thought I already had. Oh, I see. This is my bad. I did this. I made this mistake. Sorry, guys. I closed the wrong tab earlier. Let me just get the actual thing up here. Let's do the... this is a trick, if you didn't know. Let's go to transcript. Here we go. And just click Command F. And let's search for transhuman. I think this is where he begins to talk about it.
It as a kind of mechanism for transhumanism, for transcendence of our mortal flesh, and either some kind of creation of a successor species or some kind of merger of mind and machine. And do you think that's just all kind of irrelevant fantasy? Or do you think it's just hype? Do you think people are trying to raise money by pretending that we're going to build a machine god, right? Is it hype? Is it delusion? Is it something you worry about? I think you would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would
This is a long hesitation. This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit in this.
Should the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also would I also would like us to radically solve these problems.
Right.
And so, you know, it's always, I don't know.
Okay, guys, this is where things get weird. Okay.
You know, yeah, transhumanism is this, you know, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or I don't know, a transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross dresses. And a transsexual is someone where you change your, I don't know, penis into a vagina. And we can then debate how well those surgeries work. But we want more transformation than that. The critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and change your mind and change your whole body. And then Orthodox Christianity, by the way, the critique Orthodox Christianity.
And then he brings Christianity. Okay, so anyway, I think he is somebody who wants to live forever, and he is going for the whole transhumanist thing himself. And as this guy is a billionaire. Like, this guy is beyond unbelievable in terms of how much money he has. He is definitely trying to find a way to live forever and fueling and funding these ideas while posing as an Orthodox Christian, while also running Palantir, which is an AI database kind of decision-making tool used by governments, isn't it? The whole thing's like just terrifying. And isn't I heard earlier, I didn't know this. It shows how far behind I am, but isn't Palantir Lord of the Rings? Isn't it the thing that he uses to like manipulate reality? Like, it can show you your future, but it's actually like it's like a lie about the future. Like, it shows you a false reality or something like that. That's a Palantir. That's what he named it after. Like, come on, what a joke. What an absolute joke. I don't know. But like, that guy knows what's going down, and yeah. He looks creepy, doesn't he? He sounds clinically insane. Yeah, absolutely nuts. One of the scariest people I've ever seen. Yeah. Yeah. Scary stuff, guys. Scary stuff. So there's my presentation. There's some articles I thought I'd show at you. There's some random rants and ramblings. I'm going to take another quick break, another commercial break. We'll play a new one this time. I'll pause the Halloween advert there. We don't want that one again. How about we do the Christmas advert just for fun? And I'll be back in a few minutes, guys, to finish off this show.
This Saturnalia. Imagine a world where the truth was accessible and relatable. Where red baubles on a Nimrod phallus are forever changed. A solstice celebration where conspiracy and intrigue carry you away. Experience The Nephilim Looked Like Clowns, the perfect book for your weird way of life. Direct from Europe, this highly rated research has warmed the hearts of millions in time for the frosty season. Be inspired by timeless biblical questions such as, what the hell is Satan's problem? Ham did what to Noah? Was the pre-flood world really that bad? And if classic questions aren't your thing, and you prefer your Yuletide to be extra occult, take a trip to the unknown with the spine-chilling Hatman to the psychedelic realm of demonic jesters. You'll get 20 obscure and tantalizing chapters. No other book gives you the feeling of pure vindication towards your childhood fear of clowns. Each paragraph brings the wonder of Christ's sacrifice into your home. For this commercialized nonsense holiday, there's no greater gift for your family than a guide to effective spiritual warfare. Order now and get that edgelord of a teenage child of yours to Christ this winter. Sometimes in this little season, it takes clowns to get them there. To get your copy, do not call the number on screen, which is being used as a placeholder reminder of a bygone time. And don't send a check to any PO box because this is not the 90s anymore. Simply type in The Nephilim Look Like Clowns on Amazon to get your copy just in time to lock yourself away from the world and wait out the pagan festivities.
And we are back. Reading some of the comments there. And yeah, you know, a lot of people are having this idea that none of it's real. This is all just a bunch of bluster about nothing. They don't actually have any of these. They don't have nanobots. Like, they don't have any of these technologies that they're kind of hyping up in the media as real. It's all just smoke and mirrors, shows, man behind the curtain, man with a controller somewhere type stuff, you know. It's just actually like they've just hired like 3,000 Indians to pretend to work in a warehouse and pretend they have an operational AI responding to loads of people, you know. A lot of it's just nonsense. It's there to form a narrative. Maybe that may be the case in much of respects. again, I think the fear of these things going out of control is more powerful to the controllers than actually having these things. I do think a lot of it's mind games. I really do. But some of it is really like those robots were walking around, stumbling over each other and kicking a ball around like 3-year-olds. That really was happening, you know. So it's a bit of this and a bit of that, isn't it? Overhyped is a good way to describe it. Someone made a great comment there, actually. Where has it gone? I've lost it. Truth in Song said, quote, likely inevitable. Translation, being pushed and forced by the elite. And that's pretty much what it means, isn't it? You know, they're just telling you the future and what's going to happen. And you're gonna have to just deal with it and like it and shut up and put up. Like, what else can you do, you know? Even if they could download their consciousness, I feel like God would interfere and not give their green light for that. I don't think that they can ever truly transfer consciousness. I think it's a lie. I think it's not real. It's not true. It's not actually what's happening. I think they may sell the lie that they've mastered that and they can do it and you can do it too and live forever in a machine. But I think all you'll be doing is signing up to kill yourself. But you'll think you're being transferred into something else, and they might give the illusion that it looks like your personality is now in a robot, and that robot will go on talking to your friends and family as though it's you, and they'll think that's Paul in a robot body. Like I know my husband. He'll be like, my God, they've put him into a robot. Look at him, he's talking to me. That's Paul. Like he's, are you okay, Paul? It's like, yeah, I feel great. I'm here. Look, wow, I feel amazing. Like. And ask questions only Paul can know, and the robot will be like, "Yeah, this is me, guys. I made it into this body. I've shed the skin of my old feeble self, and now I'm an immortal god who will live forever in this body." But the truth is, you die, Paul. This hypothetical Paul who would do something like this, you know, Paul's dead. He died. Like this thing in front of you is not Paul. Like it's an AI algorithmic robot that knew Paul very well and mapped out his entire consciousness and personality traits by following him through all of his social medias for all his life, and knows exactly what Paul would say and how he would react and what he would do in a situation. Knows all of Paul's intimate secrets and diaries and blog posts and everything else, and knows everything about this person and can convincingly make it seem like Paul's consciousness just got transferred into a machine, but it's all smoke and mirrors, you know. And wouldn't that be a great way to get millions of people to sign up to just kill themselves without realizing it? The promise of immortality in a robot body. I can see something like that happening. I definitely can. Nanobots definitely real. Tons and tons of evidence. Oh, I'm not denying. I'm not denying there aren't tiny robots. Okay, of course there are tiny robots. Yeah, I'm not saying there aren't. But I do think the capabilities of some of these nanobots that they come across, I think they're overhyping it a little bit. Paul's dead, just like in the Beatles. Yeah. Rocky Shepherd, I think a whole AI thing is hyped up to scare us. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Man, I want that book. Let's call that OZ pilled. I don't really understand why these people want to live forever. That would be so boring and torturous. In many ways, it would be. Yeah, I mean, especially because the only other people who have managed to live forever are all the other weirdo billionaires that you don't want to spend the rest of your life with, like eternity with. It's kind of like, let them have. If that's what they want, let them have that. Whatever, you know. I'll bet the whole downloading country, yeah, is a farce. Yeah, so Jesse agrees with me. Yeah, I think the whole thing would be fake. That would be like, and you know, all it did was make these billionaires fund and build robotic vessels and then super advanced holographic brain AI models that can go into these robot vessels. The pretense and the promise from Satan, basically, that they would live forever if they built these things. But the only thing that gets to go in these brand new bodies that have just been built are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. And the elites are just going to be thrown to the side or, killed. Like, they were useful idiots again. Patsies for Satan's agenda. I see it more like that, to be honest. The black goo in movies, says Brian. Yeah, they push that a lot, don't they? They have been for a long time. Oz is in the Wizard of Oz when you think it's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah, Oz pilled. That's right. That's a good. I like that, Stephen. I like that a lot. I'm gonna steal that. By consciousness, what they really mean is your personality and consciousness online, including what they record from our devices, not the real thing. Says Truth in Song. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that, and thanks to Rocky Shepherd. Eternal life requires sacrifice of the flesh. They are legally trying to get around that, says Sebastian. It seems that way, doesn't it? Yeah, it's any way but God to eternal life. He's already offering eternal life. Like, God is offering you eternal life in the new heavens and earth after all of this. They just want to avoid the dying part first. They do not want to. They're scared of dying and facing up to the consequences in the afterlife. So I think they're trying to find their own way to build their own eternity in their own heaven and earth without God. That's what all this is really about, and they're not going to be able to do that. But let a man persist in his own folly to become wise, eh? Who are we to stop them? They used to promise us flying cars, but we're never going to get them. Exactly. Exactly. All right. Flying cars. Where's my damn flying car? Like, where is it? I'm sick of using wheels like some kind of caveman. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Right, guys. As you can hear, my voice is going. I don't think I can keep going anymore without just coughing up a lung or something. It's definitely a respiratory infection of some kind. Maybe it's parasites. Who knows? I'll do a cleanse, see what happens. But thank you so much, guys, for being here, for listening to me ramble, for joining me for a Wednesday catch up and a bit of a laugh. I hope you enjoyed the falling robots. I really enjoyed watching the robots fall over. Personally, that was the highlight of my night. Yeah, you might have noticed I'm doing something new with the channel. I have made the audiobook for that, guys who don't know. And I'll share a bit of sneak peek with you guys, but I do have the audiobook front cover kind of, we're figuring it out as we go. On the desktop here, let's just try audiobook, book files. This seems to be what we're going for right now. It's still subject to change, but this is the audiobook cover as it is. I'll make that a bit smaller for you guys so you can actually see it. So this is probably what it's going to look like on Audible. And yeah, it's all done. It's 11 and a half hours long, the audiobook. I haven't set the price. I don't get to set the price, I don't think. I think it's simply based on how long the audiobook is how much they charge. And I think Amazon do like an analysis of how successful is your book already? What's the star rating? Mine's 4.8, which is quite good. I have like 170 reviews in. It's sold quite well, so I assume they'll put the price up based on that. But they usually do it by tiers of how long the audiobook is to what the price is going to be. And I'm predicting, I have no idea. I'm literally in review process right now. I'm going to hear back within 10 days whether or not I've made a mistake or not. It might take a month. I'll have to change something. I don't actually know yet, but I am predicting, based on the length of the audiobook, it might cost around $20 to $25. But that's all I know. That's all I know right now, as a rough estimate, as a guess. But I haven't got a clue. But that's coming out soon, and there's the front cover, some exciting stuff there. I've released a chapter on Patreon, so if you're a Patreon member, you can go over there and listen to a sneak peek preview chapter of what the audiobook will sound like. So go check that out if you haven't already. Please buy the copy of The Nephilim Look Like Clowns if you haven't already, to support me as well. What is available now on Amazon is second edition. So if you have bought the book in the last year, you have a first edition. No more of them will be printed ever again. That's all. You've got it now. The second editions are what are being released from now on, and they are the corrected versions, spelling mistakes removed, all sorts of grammatical errors removed, there's little bits, flows changed slightly. So second edition is now available. If you want to get yourself a second edition as well as go and get yourself a second edition. But if you do get the audiobook, it will match the Kindle version, the paperback, the hardcover that's being sold now. Verbatim. It'll be a perfect word-for-word match. If you have a first edition and you get the audiobook, it's not going to match. There'll be differences, big differences as you go through in flow and stuff. So bear that in mind, please. But there you go. That's going on. Links down below if you want to support me on Amazon. That's a good way to do it, guys. I would really appreciate that. But again, that's all I have for news on that front. I'll update you as soon as I know any more. I just started writing a script for the next advert for the audiobook. And so far, I'm going to go for a red pepper type style voiceover advert for a movie, like in a world where a man writes an audio, like that type of thing. I'm gonna have to maybe work on my deep growly voice, do some editing on the microphone. I think the opening line is, what's my opening line so far? Let me have a look quickly. And I told you I'm going to rip into the American literacy rates, basically. But I think the opening line I have in my script so far is, in a world where 54% of American adults read below a 6th grade level. And then it cuts to me, it's like, I finally finished it. Hug my wife. Everything's going to work out for our family now. One man wrote a book about the hidden truths behind the clown. And it's going to probably go along that route. It's going to be me talking like it's currently available on Amazon and Kindle, but he was about to find out. And it's just going to go into how basically America's ranked 36 for global illiteracy rates. You have about 43 million people in your country who cannot read or write to any functional level. And my primary market is the USA. And then it's going to lead into the idea that how am I going to solve this problem? Audiobook. So there you go. That's going to be the advert. I think it's going to be like a movie trailer of some kind, a drama I'm living through where I've discovered after writing a book that my audience can't even read. So I have to do an audiobook to solve the problem, and that's my epic that's coming up. So that's going to be the new advert when it's ready. Hopefully I can get that done before the audiobook is released. I'm going to have to get my wife involved. She's going to have to act for me in this. Hopefully she's going to be willing. If not, I'm going to have to use some very clever stock footage editing of some kind. I don't know how I'm going to pull this one off, but I'm gonna do what I can. So that's coming soon, guys. A new advert, audiobook, and then all my downtime then is going to be spent on writing the second book. So lots to come in the future. I'm going to make some more Nephilim Look Like Clowns episodes for the YouTube series. I'm going to take clips from the audiobook and add images to it and release them as well as kind of promo as well. So that's coming too. Stop picking on Americans, Paul. No, because you Americans love picking on the British. You love it. You think you're so much better than us. You really do. And you're not. So I'm gonna, if you can't give it out, if you can't take it, don't dish it out, type of thing. But yeah, I don't know. That's what's coming. That's what's coming. It's going to be fun. If you can't laugh at yourselves, guys, get a sense of humor is all I can say. We British, we have a sense of humor. We're always self-deprecating ourselves, so let me just rip on somebody else for a change. There we go. As an American, keep picking, says Wendy. Exactly, yeah. Cool it with the racism, pal. Who's racist? Am I racist? Who's racist? I didn't realize I was a racist. Oh no, I'm well, thanks for enlightening me, dumpster fire. There we go. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, links down below. Go support me, Patreon, buy a book, PayPal, whatever you want to do. I would really appreciate it. Taking a week off for my birthday, believe it or not, as a self-employed person, has a massive financial impact. So I'll take any help I can get from you guys to recuperate that week's worth of losses. But yeah, thanks to all those who have supported me. I really appreciate it. Go and check out the other channel, Understanding Creativity. Lots of extra content on there if you haven't seen it already. I'll be back on Sunday with the usual truth therapy sessions. I'll also be releasing maybe another podcast on Friday that was just on recently. You'll see a lot more what are they called, shorts being released, little short clips from some of these live shows being released, only because I have a software right now that can do it for me. It takes a whole live show and just makes 5 clips from it that I can post up. And I only have the program for a month because I used the program to edit the audio for the audiobook to make it crisp quality and get rid of all the mistakes, like the pops and crackles and stuff, and add background noise to make it the right standard for Kindle. Sorry, for ACX, for audiobook. But now I've done that and the audiobook's uploaded. I've just got this program for a month. So I'm going to use it to make loads of shorts, and I'm going to see if having shorts on my YouTube channel in any way, shape or form helps me or does anything at all for me. I've never had the ability to test it until now, so I'm going to test it out, okay? So you're going to see a lot more shorts of these shows and shows from the past just randomly appearing now throughout the month. I may just stop if it has zero impact, so it doesn't help me in any way, shape, or form. There's zero benefit to it. I'm just going to stop, all right? But there we go, guys. That's coming in the future. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for listening, and as always, God bless.
Are you tired of the same old conversations? Do you often find yourself struggling to know what to say? Are you over discussing the news, sports ball, or the weather? It's time to put boring discussions behind you by leaving a copy of The Nephilim Look Like Clowns on your coffee table, your toilet, your local library, mother's car, boss's office desk, or that person you really likes bed instead.
What the hell is this?
Oh, that? Why, it's just a book about how the modern costume of a clown is a caricature of ancient giants and modern demons.
Stay away from my children.
This is a conversation you can't wait to have. My family used to think I was crazy, but thanks to The Nephilim Look Like Clowns, they know I'm crazy. The Nephilim Looks Like Clowns. It's no laughing matter.